I think I need to tune a little. Hi, Andrea, great to see you. All right, let's see if I can get this next part. Oh, I'm behind. Oh, hold on. How's that go? Let's see. What's going on here? I just sucked a green onion. I don't know what that means. Easter festivities. Is that an Easter thing? Sucking a green onion? I want to figure out this next part of the tune. This is, what is the song called? If I Could Fly by Joe Satriani. You guys, I've been playing guitar for the last like hour and a half, but I feel like kind of out of it. Like I took a sleeping pill last night to help me sleep, and it's making me a little groggy. Sharon says hi. Hey Sharon, nice to see you. Hi, hello. Let me try this little bit here. So it goes into and then okay, I want to get that part. All right, cool. That's kind of like close enough. And then all this whole next section is sort of it's kind of you just kind of go for it, you know. Sharon says, I'm a sub. I love it. Larry, have you heard of Bamboo? Of course I've heard of Bamboo, baby. This is one of my favorite albums of Joe's. Yeah, so Bamboo is really cool. The final song on this album. When I was in college, Larry, I got this album when I was a freshman in college. And I used to go for these like sunset runs around the campus and down by Lake, close to Lake Michigan. And it was just like, with this album on and the sun setting and the weather was perfect and the water, like I'm very, very nostalgic for this album. Yeah, for sure. So let's see. I'm gonna back this up a little bit. Larry, do you know this song? If I Could Fly? I assume if you know Bamboo, then you probably know If I Could Fly. Where were we? What did I mess up? Oh, that's right. It's very like standard Joe Satriani thing to do there. Very similar to what he does in the first solo of Surfing with the Alien, and in the same key, no less. He goes like, something like, so it's almost the exact same thing here, like note for note. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. Jake says, how did your concert go? You know, Jake, thanks for asking. The concert went well, but we played well. I was happy. It was Ben's first time using in-ear monitors, or not in-ear monitors, using tracks. Or yeah, using in-ear monitors with a tracks system. So being a Tuesday night opener for some like Midwest emo bands at Tulips in Fort Worth was perfect because there was nobody there. So he gave us, it was just like a glorified band practice. Like he knew there wasn't going to be anybody there. We all knew there wasn't going to be anybody there except the other bands that were playing. And we kind of treated it just as like a rehearsal for the big June show that's coming up on like June 13th. That's being promoted by the city of Fort Worth. And so Ben wanted to get in a good rehearsal for that. So what better way to do it than add an actual live venue? Larry says, yeah, the whole album is really good. Yeah, man. I think this is my second favorite album. So Crystal Planet is my favorite album. I was practicing those harmonics to Up in the Sky earlier today. Ugh. I really have to warm up into that. That's really hard to get clean. If you miss that final harmonic, it's a real problem. Like, every time I miss that harmonic, I can feel the Ukraine-Russia tensions rising even more. Right, there we go. So I'm creating world peace just by doing that. And then also, I'll probably play Up in the Sky again. I was messing with the vibe settings earlier because the verses has a little bit of a vibe on it. I don't know if you can hear that. I might need to actually increase the vibe just a little there. Can you hear that vibe pedal in there at all? It's kind of... No, my fly is not down, but thank you, Barfy Man. My fly was down earlier today, but it's not right now. You had me scared there and a little excited. Kiryu says, is this Hot Ones? Yes, I am Sean Evans. Sean Evans has learned how to play guitar. Barfy Man, does it help being bald to play Satriani? I don't know if I like Barfy Man very much. Yes. Yes, I started going bald so I could get better at playing Joe Satriani music. Orpin, what's up, Orpin? Good to see you. Larry says, perfect. Okay, cool. So you can hear that there. Anyway, I'm gonna go from the beginning of this. I'm just gonna go from the top of this song. I'm gonna run this, and then if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you have any guitar-related questions, I'm happy to answer those. I can't answer any questions about hot sauce or wings, unfortunately. Cool, thanks, Larry. I appreciate it. I've spent a lot of years like working on tone and just sort of figuring out what I like and everything. And it's kind of a Satriani sound for tone that I like. So I don't want to be like for years I did not work on Satriani's music anymore because I was starting to sound too much like him, which is why I started taking lessons with Greg Howe. By the way, here's a lick I came up with yesterday afternoon that's different than the one I came up with yesterday morning. Very like Greg Howe inspired. For that, actually for this same key, for A Mixolydian, if I was to play, I can play that over this recording. It works better over certain chords than other ones. Let's see, Squid Exhibit, opinions on Les Paul. Les Pauls are fine. I had a guitar student yesterday who had a Les Paul, and it's literally the heaviest guitar I've ever picked up, I think. It's like 11 pounds, and it's got amazing sustain, but to me, that's a young person's guitar. I'm turning 40 on Wednesday, and so I'm too old for heavy guitars. I need something light, and sustain. If you've got the right amp and you've got the right settings, I don't need sustain for days. I just need sustain for like maybe a little bit longer than that, but it's not bad. Play Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. Nah, thanks. I'm good. Larry, Greg is so smooth. Man, Greg is smooth. Did you see, Larry, the short that I posted yesterday of the Greg Howe style? So this A minor arpeggio that Greg showed me, and then you played in fourths. That took me weeks of like just going really, really slow. And then I combined it with that Satriani, one of the Satriani ideas, this one. from this song. And so then I've got in this key, in like A minor. So I put this together. Let me see if I can do it full speed. So that's like kind of my Greg Howe Satriani mashup. Squid Exhibit just got a 2003 Gibson Premium Plus and Honey. Oh, if I was to get a Les Paul, I think someday I will get a Les Paul. And when I do, it will be Honeyburst. It's probably the best tone I've played and helped me branch off Hendrix and into so many more tones. Yeah. Oh, I mean, that is what I like about a Les Paul is most of my guitars are like Strat style. And even my Strat style guitars make me play a different way. But a Les Paul makes me play radically different than when I play like a Tele or a Strat. So I agree with you. I think that's one of the benefits. Larry says Buckethead Les Paul, LOL. Now that's a beast. I have not played that. Have you played one, Larry? I'd be real curious to check what I assume it has the kill switch on it and everything. Is that Buckethead's main guitar? Is it a Les Paul? His main guitar? All of a sudden I'm blank. Like I know it's white and he's got that red kill switch, but all of a sudden I can't think of what his guitar is. Talis says, Talis! Sin says, your picking gives me Paul Gilbert vibes. Wow, Sin, that is probably the greatest compliment I could ever receive because I'm not... The only like Paul Gilbert thing I know is this cool pattern he did in a magazine years ago. He runs these like string skipping arpeggios through the key. It's a great exercise. Yeah, so that's like the only Paul Gilbert thing I know. The guy is a picking master. And then, of course, that exercise. I'm not a very good picker, but... But I've done that Paul Gilbert picking exercise many, many times. Ant says, you look like Satch, bro. I don't think I actually look like him. I think it's just because I'm bald. But I don't know. I guess all bald people look the same. Bald white guys look the same. I've got hair, not quite as much hair as him, but I am a hairy guy as well. Mojit says, hi, bro. Hey. Sin says, that dude loves his string skips. Yes, he does. And so does Greg Howe. When Greg Howe does like arpeggios. Yeah, Greg Howe does a lot of string. I really need a string dampener to play that right. I've been thinking about revisiting Jumpstart. I can't remember the rest of it. Jumpstart is so incredibly hard. Every Greg Howe song is incredibly hard. Sin says that exercise was my introduction to focusing on string crossing. Nice. Larry, yeah, it's Les Paul, but it's bigger than... Really? So is Buckethead like a super tall dude? I feel like so many of those great guitar players are really tall. I'm actually short for an American. I'm like 5'8", which is average in terms of the world, I found out. But in terms of America, I think the average American male is like 5'10". And because it bothered me for so long, I'm like, I feel like I'm shorter than every guy I know, but the average height is 5'8". Well, not in America and not in Texas. They grow them bigger here. Sin says, Greg is an enigma to me. Yeah, Well, not so much to me anymore because I've been taking lessons with him for like 10 years. So, like, Greg has just showed me all sorts of cool things. And like one of my favorite arpeggios he showed me. That's like my favorite lick of all time. And then these arpeggios. That one's in my free warm-ups course, which is the link for that's in the description. If you want those tabbed out, those arpeggios. I also like this one. That one's cool. And then like in Mixolydian. Right? And then like, what's another cool lick Greg showed me? I'm missing a note. That one's cool. And then there's this like 36 note pattern he showed me, which took me forever to get. I need to practice that. Man, Greg has just like shown me so many cool things. Let me think of one other really cool one that he did, like this. Man, yeah, Greg Howe is just a beast. Greg Howe has literally changed the way I play guitar. I have my buddy Tommy, who runs Introspection Academy, which is like a Greg Howe dedicated YouTube channel. He and I are gonna do we're gonna do a video chat soon, and just talk about what it's been like for each of us studying with Greg and some of the things we've learned from him. So that'll be a fun YouTube video that we're gonna do. Ann says now we're cooking. Steve says, do you know what Ibanez guitar model sounds like? Fender Stratocaster, usually in humbucker of Fender. Well, this Satriani signature guitar sounds very kind of Strat-like. It's almost like a mix of like a Strat and a Les Paul in terms of its tone. But I can go single coil and really get some like Stratty. Ooh, I'm a little out of tune. Some Stratty tones out of it. Maybe not on. There's something wrong with my inputs here, though, so it's not quite giving me that sound that I want. What are we talking about? Ibanez also has basically their version of a Strat. Ibanez's version of the Strat is, I don't remember what it's called, but most of the time, if I'm going to play a Strat, I'll just play a Strat. My favorite Strat though is my Music Man Cutlass. Okay, Sin says he's like 6'7". Buckethead is like 6'7". Goodness. Ants, do you play much acoustic guitar? It's funny you ask. My degree is in classical guitar. That is what I got my degree in. So I spent like 4 years practicing classical guitar and then practicing shred guitar after that. And yeah, I love playing acoustic. I have a few acoustic videos on my channel. In fact, my most recent YouTube video, Third Eye Blind's Motorcycle Drive-By, I did a lesson on that 2 days ago. And that's all with my acoustic. Larry, he's like 6'7". Okay. Sin, Andy Timmons has an Ibanez Strat, I think. Oh, yes. I've met Andy Timmons a few times. In fact, on my YouTube channel, there's a video of me jamming with him. It was just this open. It's not because like I was invited to it. It was just Andy Timmons was hosting at the Guitar Sanctuary in McKinney this like open blues jam, and anyone who wanted, he performed with his trio, and then at the end they just started a blues jam. And if you brought your guitar, you could go up on stage and do a solo with him. And so I did, and it wasn't very good. and I was like 70 pounds heavier than I am now. So it's kind of jarring to see now. But it was fun. It was fun getting to yes, and that dude has godlike phrasing. I agree. I also met him once. We stood side by side at a urinal in a bathroom at an Eric Johnson concert, and I'll never forget that. But I was nice enough not to talk to him while we were taking a wee. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna play this. Whoop. Hold on, y'all. I got a tune. Let me know where you're beaming in from. So that's the downside of this bridge. It's got, I need to unlock the locking tuners. This is as tight as it can go now. So let's go, let me see what's up with the Parker. Y'all, I have not played this one in a while. Quite some time I have not played my Parker Fly. The biggest videos I have on my YouTube channel are my Parker Fly videos. Let's see, are we in tune? Hey, it's held tune pretty good for the last few months while it's just been sitting on the... Oh no, I'm gonna get on a Parker kick again. Sins from Toronto, cool, very cool. Are you ready to become the 51st state of the U.S. and join us? Just kidding. I already know like 90% of Canadians do not want that, and I think it's horrible. I love Canada and I love Canadians. I just don't know why we like let's just leave them alone, right? Baruch says, "What's the thingy at the end of your neck?" That's my head. Yes. At the end of this neck, the headstock. Larry says, "Do you know any Eric Johnson?" Man, Eric Johnson is really tough to do. I'll tell you, I actually have a setting called Clean EJ. So this is my attempt at getting kind of an Eric Johnson-y sound. It's better on a Strat. But my favorite kind of Eric Johnson style thing to do are like those arpeggios. And then of course I know like a bad version of get that harmonic. So it's kind of like my fake version of the intro to Cliffs of Dover. And then there's a couple of Eric Johnson licks I like to do, like that's a cool one. And then like what else does he? Right, like that kind of thing. But Eric Johnson is very, very hard to mimic. Baruch says, like the 3 black circles on this guitar. 3 black circles. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is it the knobs here? Sin, only if we get more Texas barbecue. I love it. You'll consider becoming a full blooded American if you get more Texas barbecue. Have you been to Texas before, Sim? Steve says, "Wow, I like Satriani melody music since being a teenager." Yeah, yeah, same. I was 16 the first time I heard. Right, and then of course. How's it go? Ooh. I don't know, man. It's been a long time since I played Summer Song. Right, something like that. I might relearn Summer Song at some point. Baruch, the Ibanez guitar, you have 3 black circles before the 0 for. Oh. Okay, I know what you're talking about. So these are locking tuners. So when you have like a Floyd Rose style guitar with the crazy whammy bar stuff, these help lock down the strings so that when you're going crazy with the whammy bar, it doesn't pull it wildly out of tune. However, I will tell you that if you have like a Strat with just a regular whammy bar and you have it set up properly, it'll stay in tune great, and you don't need the locking tuners. Same thing with my Parker. I'm not going to pull out the whammy bar right now, but when I use the whammy bar on this guitar, it does not have locking tuners, and it holds tune very, very well. Yeah. Larry says, "Dang, that's awesome. Cool." Sin says, "Nope, but I won't mind visiting." Right on. Lonely in the Night is one of my favorite Eric Johnson solos. Super melodic and technical. What album is that from, Sin? I'm bad with song names. All right, I'm going to try this song one more time. I gotta work my phrasing there. kind of ends there, right? Kind of fades out. Whoo! So I feel pretty good about the first like 4 minutes of that song, but then those last 2 minutes, it kind of falls apart for me, and I don't know it. So like when I do post an actual like well produced cover video of that, obviously I won't have his track in there, and I'll take some liberties. I'm like to try and get all of that note for note is just like ridiculous and probably not worth the time. So like my main benefit for me personally is number one, I just enjoy learning it, but number two, I want to replicate in my own playing the phrasing and the timing and the note choices. So it's beneficial to like learn the outline of how people do things. But then when you do it yourself and you do like a cover of it, not necessarily trying to do everything exactly right, but getting it close enough to where you get the emotion and the feel, but then you do it kind of in your own way. Because I think sometimes like I've had some of my guitar students go kind of crazy, getting frustrated that they can't nail something exactly the way the artist did. And I'm like, but you have to remember that that artist is playing what comes naturally to them. And what comes naturally to them may not come naturally to you. So if you were to record your own song and play it the way you play, and then have someone else try to learn it note for note, they're probably going to struggle with it a little bit just because they don't play the way you play. So that's why I don't stress too much about trying to play everything like exactly right. Venus Isle. That's the Sin. That's the album I've listened to the least amount. So I'll have to listen to Lonely in the Night again. I know I've heard it before. Abirab says, which brand? Nice guitar, bro. Yeah, this is a Parker Fly. This is my 1995 Parker Fly guitar. I also have a 2014 one. I may need to sell that one pretty soon, unfortunately. But let's see. Steve Hughes says, Joe Satriani is my guitar hero. Yep, mine too. Joe really likes that teeth playing style. I tried to play guitar with my teeth one time, and I hated it. I was like, not worth it. Not worth what it's going to do to the enamel. Hi, can you play In Due Time, Kill Switch Engage? I know like 2 Kill Switch Engage songs that I've ever heard in my life. I've never learned how to play one. And again, just like as a reminder, like for me, to like prepare one of these songs takes hours and hours for weeks and weeks to get it remotely comfortable. And then just even learning, like for like some of the country gigs and pop gigs I play, even preparing those songs note for note takes a lot of prep time. So to like just say, oh, hey, do this. Hey, play this song. Like, I don't know that. And it would take me probably many hours to learn that Kill Switch Engage song, to play it at the level it needs to be played. So I think it's just, I think people underestimate the amount of work that goes into preparing a song and a set of music. Like if I'm just doing like Nirvana or Blink-182 or something like that, yeah, it doesn't take very long. But when you're asking for like more complex music, like Dire Straits or Kill Switch Engage, like you guys, I can't just pull that out of my rear end. Use some major third. There are some major thirds in that song, but Satriani's mostly doing like minor thirds bent up to the major third in that song. Yeah, love it. Satriani. Tax says Parker guitar. Right. Javila says, play Always With Me, Always With You. Man, I don't even know if I don't think I remember. I think I might remember the intro. Okay, I literally haven't played that in probably years. I can't believe I still remember that. I first learned it in high school. Holy cow! I can't believe I just did that. I'm serious. I haven't played that song in years. I am shocked that I know even that much of it. Steve says, it's hard to practice Satriani music. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Steve. It is hard. It is hard practicing Satriani music. Ross says, hi, Eric. That's right. Cool guitar strap. Yeah, you like my Satriani guitar strap? I've had this for like over a decade. So that's my go-to straps I like the Satriani straps. And then there's also a brand called Soldier Strap. So if you see non-Satriani straps on my guitars, those are Soldier straps. I freaking love them. I'll be at the Dallas Guitar Show in a couple weeks, and the lady who makes those straps will probably be there again. So I usually buy a strap from her whenever I see her. Okay, I'm gonna play one. I'm gonna jump off here. I need to do some other work for my guitar lessons business. By the way, if you're looking for a guitar teacher, you can email me, eric@unlimitedguitar.com. I have a few private spot openings if you're down for that. If you want to just like do an hour with me, you can. It's incredibly expensive, and it's the same amount as just like doing a month of lessons. And that's because I would rather work with somebody long-term. So I'm not super interested in just doing like one-off lessons. Most of my students are with me. Like I have a student who's been working with me for 10 years. And then another couple that have been with me for 5, 6, 7 years. And then a few other new ones who have just started with me, who I anticipate will be with me for years. It's pretty rare for someone to start studying guitar with me and then like quit within the first few months or even within the first year. So if that's something you're thinking about, I want you to just mentally be thinking about the long haul with that. Anyway, you can email me for details on that, and then I'll jump on a free call with you for like 20 minutes and just see if us working together is a good fit. Because sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. We got to make sure we vibe. And then also, if you just want to check out some of my courses, you can go to unlimitedguitar.com. There's a free course link in the description as well. So cool. Pop in any last questions you have. I'm gonna play one more Satriani tune, and then I'm gonna hop off of here. Probably go finish watching Final Destination with my son today as well. Also might take my wife to the movies. We might go see Sinners, which looks really cool. But after I finish my work. Give me a second. Let me pull this up. So I'm going to play Up in the Sky, which is the other Satriani song I've been working on. Gosh, where is it? Under my recently added. Up in the Sky. There it is. All right, let me get this. Let's see how loud that is. I think that'd be good. Ah! Okay, so if any of y'all have heard me over the last week working on that song, you know how impossible those harmonics are. This is the guitar I need to play it on. I can't play it on the Satriani guitar to get those harmonics. I mean, it's 100 times easier on this guitar. The Parker guitar, I forget how resonant and bright and rich it is for things like harmonics. So, yeah, let's see. Steve says, Flying in a Blue Dream. Man, I love Flying in a Blue Dream. That is one I will probably do within the next like 6 months. I've got a list of things I want to do, but I'm definitely going to do a cover of Flying in a Blue Dream. I love that song. Yeah, from the Crystal Planet album. Yep, Up in the Sky, first track from Crystal Planet. Steve, yeah, you can do it. Eric Bourassa. Larry, do you like Tears in the Rain? Yeah, I like Tears in the Rain. That one's. Oh wait, that's not I Like the Rain. Tears in the Rain. Which album is that from, Larry? Is that Tears in the Rain? I think I have every Satch album in my iTunes library. Made of Tears, from Super Colossal is great. Oh, Tears in the Rain from The Extremist. Dude, the whole Extremist album. Oh, yeah. Dude, an acoustic tune. That's such a nice break in the Extremist album, but I love the album The Extremist. In fact, I haven't listened to it in a while. I'm probably gonna listen to that again here this weekend. So, all right, you guys, thanks for joining me. Wow, it's been 53 minutes. Great to see you. Super fun. What, you want to come say hi, Kennedy? My kids are all home for Good Friday, so I'm gonna go say hi to my kiddos. All right, bye, you guys. See you later.